This episode, y'all, of Queen Charlotte of Bridgerton Story, Holding the King, episode 4, is truly heartbreaking. This is our flashback episode from the perspective of King George. And oh, can I say how much I love Farmer George. We see how he gets his name Farmer George, and also where he gets his knowledge for animals and how that knowledge will help him in a later episode. What I'm not a fan of in this whole episode, but it makes it so real and completely different from like Bridgerton season 1 and season 2, really Bridgerton after Queen Charlotte, is that we see a very tortured George and the doctor he sees. It is very dark. And you're just like, please, somebody go help him. From a suggestion of Brimsley and Reynolds, George gives this gesture, the deformed bunny, to Charlotte, which is actually what I would think is a science experiment from the doctor. So he essentially rescues this cute Pomeranian to give to Charlotte. And I kind of have this theory that the reason why she has so many Pomeranians is that maybe George sometimes in his mind is back in that situation, and these are just all these Pomeranians that he's rescuing, or it's his way of giving a gesture to Queen Charlotte. Now when we see him go have his meal with Queen Charlotte, he's very nervous, and what is so sweet and like I absolutely adore is Reynolds' hand just giving him that reassuring touch. Also beforehand he also says no fish. This is why I love the dynamic between King George and Reynolds and Brimsley and Charlotte. Throughout this episode, we see how King George, when he's with Charlotte, he is literally his best self. He explains to the doctor how, throughout his life, the tiniest mistake was going to be the ruin of England. However, when he's with Charlotte, he sees somebody who is unafraid and is like living life. He literally says, a woman who is never terrified, breaks rules, courts scandal, commits unthinkable impertinences, and she is the most royal person I have ever known. And I love in this episode how we see how these two truly are a love match, and how George is in such awe of Charlotte. And Charlotte is just like, you can do anything, George. And he replies, with you by my side, I think I can. Probably one of my favorite scenes. I know I have a lot of favorite scenes, but I really do love that one. We then see how George finds out that Charlotte has found out about his mental illness. And sadly, he hears a conversation that she has with Princess Augusta, basically telling Princess Augusta, why didn't you let me know? Basically, she loves this man, but she is also like, I'm ill-equipped to help him and I want to help him. And so George, even though he had just dismissed the doctor, goes back to the terrible doctor. And we are basically, all the progress we had just made, we're set back. And Charlotte is left wondering, where's her husband and what has happened to him? Which sets us up for episode 5, which is so good. Episode 5 was the episode I was like, this is a twist I was not expecting. So stay tuned.